Welcome to another ABS online video. Let's go and find out what we're going to learn today. Stay green in week 20. How will we do that? Well, we are going to recycle again. Now we say again because we recycled last week. Do you remember? Do you? It's easy and really useful. Oh, well, we've got something from last week there as well. The end of the word is underlined. We've got the word use, and then we've got a suffix. The suffix is full. It's useful. Yes. Do you remember them? No, not all the word was underlined. Only the last part. Do you remember why? The suffix. Yes, a suffix. Okay. What does a suffix do? Well, we put it at the end of the word and it changes the meaning of the word a little bit. It makes the word more useful, more helpful. So what is a suffix? Here we go. We start with an ordinary word and then we add a little bit extra to the end. Just a little bit. A suffix is usually 2 or 3 letters. Sometimes it might even be 4 letters. But it's always just a little bit. Why? Why do we do it? It changes the meaning. Oh dear. We've met this man before. He always seems confused. Well, it's not that difficult. So why not use a different word? Well, we've already got lots and lots and lots of words, haven't we? So we should know the main part of the word. So that helps a lot. The first word we use today, useful. We already know what use is. And now we've got a little bit extra. I also said helpful. We all know the word helpful. We've got a very easy word to start, help. And we add a little bit extra, full, helpful. So, if we know what the suffix means, we can learn a new word. If we've got helpful, half the work is already done. Everyone knows what help means. Okay. So, a suffix helps us to make a new word. There are so many as well. They're all really useful. Right, so let's get on to this week. How can we save the world this week? That makes us sound a bit like an Avenger or something, doesn't it? We are the superheroes and we will save the world. We are going to recycle again. I don't think the Avengers really spend very much time recycling, when they are saving the world, but it's what we can do, and it's really important. This time, it's paper. We all use lots of paper, so it's very important to recycle. Now, recycling paper is sort of easy. It's easy for us to just save the paper we have used. Don't just put it in the bin. Putting paper in the bin, that's maybe the worst place we can put it. Put it in a special place. Let someone take it away. Help them recycle. Use it again. Make it into really new, wonderful, useful paper. So let's get started. Collection is again the first step. Let's look at that first word, collection. We've got the verb collect, to get things together, collect. But then we've got the suffix tion, and that is the action of doing it. So, collection. There's a good word with a great suffix. This time, separation is of the uppermost importance. Now, I think tion and uns, we saw those suffixes last week. But did we see most? Oh my word, he's got a lot of paper. You really should not throw it away. That is a great sentence to think about, isn't it? Separation. To separate means to put things in different groups. So we all look at paper as just being paper. Well, not really. Look at paper carefully and you will see that there are some different kinds. So we must separate. And then we've got tion, the action of separating. Separation. Maybe uppermost. Most. It's the number one thing that's important. So why separate? Some paper can't be recycled. We can classify paper into 4 groups. Oh dear. Well, those 4 groups: copy paper, newspaper, packaging, and contaminated paper. Contaminated paper, I'm sure you see it every day. It's the piece of paper that is right on the outside of your school books. It's got plastic on it. Now that means it's really difficult and sometimes impossible to use that paper again. Now the others: copy paper, we see a lot. Newspaper, of course. Packaging. Well, that's like having a cardboard box. Is that paper? Well, it sort of is. It's just really thick paper. Now, we've got a word there in the middle. Classify. There's a good suffix. could that mean? Maybe we'll find out later. So what can we use? Only copy paper and newspaper are usable. These are fed into a shredder and cleaned. There's a shredder. Maybe your mum or dad have one of these in their office. When we recycle paper, we use a really big shredder. To shred means to cut up into long, thin strips. Then it goes through a filter. This is essential. Okay, it cleans the paper, it separates some bad things out. When we look at paper, we just see paper, but maybe it isn't all paper. What does that mean? So why filter? Filtration removes small pieces of metal that must not go into the new paper. It's easy to see the essentialness of this. Oh dear, that's bad, isn't it? You don't want a bit of metal in the middle of your paper. No. Look at lots of books and you will see little bits of metal right in the middle. Usually quite thin books. Have a look. Now we've got a word in the middle there. Essentialness. Well, that's a really long word. It's not a word that we use very often, but it's useful for us today. Essential, very important. That's what that means. What about ness? Another good suffix. Yeah, no metal please. So now we have soup. What? Dear oh dear, is it lunchtime? What does that mean? The water and paper mixture makes a thick soup-like liquid. It is called pulp. Pulp. So it's mixed together and squashed and taken apart and squashed and mixed, and it's like a soup. Not a soup that we want for lunch. No. Chemicals are added to get rid of the ink. We don't want the paper to be dirty. But of course, all paper has got some ink on it. Maybe you've used a pen. Maybe the paper has been printed. It's got words and pictures on it. Well, we don't really want that. So we add some chemicals. Now we try not to add lots of chemicals. We've got to remember that a lot of this water is going to go back into the environment. So we have to be careful. But those super scientists, well, they know what they're doing. The number one idea about recycling is to make the environment better, cleaner, keep it nice and healthy for longer. So let's not add too many chemicals. So what next? This is why recycling paper is problematic. Problematic. The wood fibres in this pulp are not strong. Wood fibres are the little tiny bits of wood that we use to make the paper. It holds the paper together. But they're not really great, not in our soup. We have to add new wood fibres. So we need new wood. Last week we said that glass was 100% recyclable. But paper isn't. Every time we recycle paper, it gets a little bit weaker. So every time we need a little bit of new wood to make sure it's strong enough. So now we have to squash the pulp. We've got lots of water in our soup. The pulp can now be pressed, dried and rolled. The useless rubbish is now useful new paper. Well, that's great. Hold on. We've got useless and useful. Can you maybe guess what the words and the suffixes mean? Useless, useful. So we had some soup. We called it pulp. Lots of water in there. We don't want the water in our paper. It's pressed, really squashed down flat. Then it is dried. And then it is rolled. Now we've got our paper. Now it's not perfect. Recycled paper is not the best. Recycling shortens the wood fibres, which means that paper can only be recycled about 5 times. Oh dear. Well, it's not perfect, but it helps. Sometimes we say every little helps. Can you differentiate between glass and paper? Different. Differentiate. Paper will not last forever. We must buy things that are made from sustainably managed forests. These are really important. This means that any trees that are cut down will be replaced. Now that's super important. Usually, if you cut down one tree, you have to plant 3 new trees. Now we plant 3 because one of those trees might get blown down in a strong storm. One of the trees might get eaten by a deer. And that still leaves another tree to grow and grow and grow and give us wood that we can then use for future paper. Now if we don't do this, all the trees will be gone in just a few years. That's no good at all. That would just make people sad. So let's look at the suffixes. Some of them we used last week. Some of them were new. Uppermost. Most means the superlative, the very highest. So we said the uppermost importance. It is the number one, right at the very top. Classify. Fi means to make, to put into a separate class. Now here, when we say class, we don't mean your class at school. We mean to separate things into different groups. So here, class is another word for group. Classify. Put into a separate class. Some more. Great. Shredder. Er. We use this so many times. Is used to make a noun from a verb. So, a shredder is a thing that will shred. What about teacher? We've got a noun, the teacher. And we've taken that from the word teach. Teacher, a person that will teach. Essentialness. Ness means that it is. It is essential. Yes, super important. It is very important. We can see its essentialness. More. Oh, that's good. Mixture. We've all seen this word many times, I'm sure. U-R-E means the result of an action. Here the action is mix. We mix things to make a mixture. The mixture is the result. Oh, that's a good mixture. Take the strawberries, the blueberries and the milk, mix them, and you have a mixture that we call a smoothie. Problematic. Attic forms an adjective. We describe it as a problem. Oh, so maybe we could say the metal is problematic. The metal is being described as a problem. It's problematic. More, goodness me, wow. Useless. Less means without. It has no use. Just like helpless, careless. Oh dear, that food is useless. We can't eat that. Less. That's quite a common suffix. Differentiate. Eate. This is not a common suffix, but it's good to know. Eate means to know that you can. I can see things are different. Whoa, okay. Can we differentiate which fish is different? Yes, we can. Can we differentiate glass and paper? Yes, we can. Glass is 100% recyclable. Paper is a little bit more problematic. Wow, great words, lots of them as well. Understanding a suffix helps us to work out what a new word means. Sometimes we have to think about it, and it always helps if you can put it into a sentence. That is the best way. Very difficult if you just want to learn the suffix. No, put it into a sentence. That's why our lessons are useful. Recycling is so important that we will look at it one more time. What will we recycle next? Well, we've done glass, we've done paper. What other thing can we recycle? You think about that, and we will see you soon. Let's go and see our final 2 friends. They would like to say thank you. See you next time. Bye. Thank you for watching our video today. Please don't forget, subscribe, and that will help us to make lots more videos for you. Thank you. Bye.